The number one new cyber exposure that is developing in the construction industry has to be the Internet of Things. The Internet of Things stands for the idea that we can control real physical objects through the Internet, or otherwise remotely or through a network or system. And this has created a whole host of new, what people are referring to as cyber exposures. The fact that you could control a crane, that you can control a building, that you can control what they call industrial control systems remotely or through the Internet, has made the construction industry a whole lot more convenient and efficient, but it also increases the exposure from somebody who might have bad intent, to put it bluntly. You've got all sorts of people out there that are looking for ways to disrupt businesses, that are looking for ways to disrupt buildings and construction sites and whatever else they can. The fact that you could control these large, heavy pieces of equipment or the actual building themselves or an industrial process means that if you can control it remotely, then a bad guy who hacks into the system can control it remotely as well. There was an example of just that happening at a steel mill in Germany, where a hacker got into the system and controlled one of the furnaces that was used to smelt the steel, or to heat the steel up so that it could be manipulated. And when that happened, he overheated the system, destroying that and doing a whole lot of interior property damage to the mill. Fortunately, nobody was hurt. But as you can see, because we have this Internet of Things, a hacker now has the ability to do very serious property damage and potentially bodily injury. And as the construction industry embraces this idea of being able to remotely control systems and objects and equipment, that exposure is going to increase. I have been to a whole lot of cyber conferences, and I've heard a whole lot of cybersecurity experts talk about this exposure. And the one common theme that you hear from all of them is there is no foolproof system. There is no 100% guarantee. A lot of them say that it is not if you are going to be breached, but when you are going to be breached. Or some of them go to the extreme to say, when you find out that you've already been breached. Because the bad guys out there are just as smart as the good guys. And oftentimes they're working all day, all week, just to figure out a way to get into this system, where most of our IT security professionals are stretched 15 different ways, are working very hard, but it's very difficult to keep up with a dedicated bad guy that wants into your system. Now, that's not to say that it's hopeless. I mean, there are ways that you can secure the system. There are ways that you can make it more difficult for the bad guys. And it is still true that the bad guys will go after easier targets before they will go after the more difficult targets. So we make a joke about how you don't have to be faster than the bear, you only have to be faster than your friend who is running from the bear as well. So the same is sort of true in the cybersecurity industry. You don't have to have the best cybersecurity system, but if yours is better than the next guy over, then the bad guys are probably going to focus on the easier target. That isn't to say that they're not going to come after you as well, though. There are now a whole lot of bears out there, is what I'm trying to say.